Hi guys, your latest news TV. Tension and panic grip part of Osogbo, the Osun state capital. Guys, suspected hoodlums swear they opened fire in the vicinity of the convoy of Governor Davido and Adeleke shortly after his visit to the palace of the Otoja of Osogbo, guys, which is the Oba Jimoh Oyentuji. What initially emerged as an attack on the governor's convoy, this issue has since taken a more complicated turn. Police authorities swear these people have indicated that the confrontation may have been linked to an attempt to reach music star, that is David Adeleke, which is popularly known as Davido, who was accompanying the governor. Yes, this incident occurred barely days after Adeleke secured re-election in the August 15 Osun governorship election, and a day after the governor received his certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC. Guys, according to this incident, Governor Adeleke arrived at the palace of the Atoja of Osogbo at about 3:15 p.m. on Wednesday with a large convoy. So after receiving his certificate of return from INEC, guys, the governor was at the palace to meet the traditional ruler and formally present the certificate. Following this his victory of the governorship election, Davido was also with him.
Governor Davido and Adeleke convoy was attacked today, being 19th of August 2026. Even governor is not safe in his own state.
Hey, Mogbil, don't dare my fans. It's done. Tí a gà sí kẹ̀ níbo mo gbé o. Wọ́n ti mi tí a gà sí náà. Nàìjíríà. So báyìí láti mọ gbé láìfù báyìí. Àwọn èèyàn ti fi gbálẹ̀ òun dáràn. Ẹ gbà mí. Ọmọ Òṣogbo làárọ̀ ti ní o. Before náà bá bú.
After this palace visit, gunshots were heard around the area, creating confusion among residents, also the traders and other people in the vicinity. Guys, what this thing describes in this incident as an attack on the governor's convoy. Security personnel they attached to Adeleke reportedly responded to the shooting, leading to an exchange of gunfire, fire to fire. Some reports said that this confrontation lasted between approximately 12 and 15 minutes, although accounts of the exact duration varied. Guys, these hoodlums had allegedly arrived in an unregistered Toyota Sienna before the shooting. The circumstances surrounding their arrival and the immediate cause of the confrontation were initially unclear. As investigations progressed, the Osun State Police Command reportedly provided additional details that significantly changed the understanding of what happened. According to what the police say, what they say now, that is by Nigerian media and their reports, the suspected attackers may not have been primarily targeting Governor Adeleke. Instead, investigators believe that Davido was their main target. Police said a confrontation began when an individual identified as Adebayo, that is Tarot, popularly known as Small Rugged, allegedly attempted to gain access to Davido but was resisted by members of the singer's security team. Guys, these confrontations were reportedly attracted other suspected gangs members, so eventually escalating into violence and gunfire. The involvement of Davido has attracted considerable public attention because the singer is a nephew of Governor Adeleke and has also remained closely associated with the governor during his political career, during his campaign and everything. Davido was part of this. His presence at the Atocha Palace therefore turned what could have been viewed simply as a political security incident into a wider confrontation involving this singer's private security personnel and suspected hoodlums. Yes, according to reports, this altercation allegedly began after the individual identified as Small Rugged tried to reach
So
Davido.
Osun Governor
The singer's
Adeleke
security team
convoy
they
was
tried to
attacked
they
today,
stopped
being
this
19th of
Small
August
Rugged from
2026.
reaching Davido. So this was what
Even governor is
later
not safe in his own
escalated the
state.
situation. Police have therefore
Okay, look at the
been
way I saw this
investigating the
incident.
incident from the perspective of an alleged confrontation involving Davido's security details rather than simply an attempt attack on the governor. Guys, this incident also had a tragic consequences. The Osun State Police Command they reportedly confirmed that the death of a 60-year-old man identified as Tajuddin Yusuf, a resident of the Oke Ayepe area of Osogbo. According to the police account, Yusuf was shot in the Ita Olokan area of the city after the confrontation. Police officers who were reportedly deployed after receiving information about the shooting and found the victim seriously injured. Guys, this victim was then rushed to the university teaching hospital in Osogbo, where he was later pronounced dead. This death is heightened concern over the danger posed by gun violence in densely populated areas, particularly when armed confrontations occur around public figures and large convoys. Who the convoys, so the police personnel, the security personnel present there at that moment, it will be very difficult for them to retaliate back with their gun and the rest. Despite this, their intensity of the shooting, this Governor Adeleke was protected by his security detail and also was able to leave the area safely. Guys, the governor's security personnel reportedly returned fire after the suspected attackers opened fire. This their initial report therefore described the incident as an attack on Adeleke convoys, with security operatives engaging the assailants and preventing them from getting close to the governor. And people was also present there, so they just tried to maintain composure and the rest. This Osun State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, that's Kolapo Alimi, also confirmed that suspected hoodlums were involved in the incident and that the governor's security personnel replied the attacks. Yes, this their shooting reportedly caused significant panic in the surrounding area. Residents and also market women, traders and the rest, most of them abandoned their activities they were doing that moment. Whereas they had the gunshots and the rest. This presence of the governor's convoy, the security personnel and armed individuals further testified the confusion with residents initially consenting about whether the incident was a political assassination attempt, a clash between rival groups, or an attack targeting the governor. As this later increased to prolonged exchange of gunfire and also fear among residents. This shooting occurred against the background of the highly competitive and sometimes tense 2026 Osun governorship election. Governor Adeleke was declared the winner of the August 15 election, defeating the APC candidate, that is Bola Oyabamiji. Guys, this political contest has been preceded by allegations and counter-allegations of political violence from Rivers camp. This Osun State Police Command has reportedly commenced a full-scale investigation into this their incident. Investigators are expected to determine exactly how the confrontation began, identify everyone involved, also establish who fired the shots and determine the circumstances surrounding this death of Tajuddin Yusuf. These police they have indicated that further information will be released as the investigation progresses. Police reports indicated that the confrontation began when this small rugged tried to gain access to the singer. So is Davido guard that moment, that is the bouncers at the rest. They just try to resist this small rugged from getting close to Davido. Initial reports understand Debo focused on the governor because the shooting occurred around his convoy. However, the subsequent police accounts suggest that Davido may have been the intended target, although police have attributed the death to gunfire during the confrontation. Investigators will need to establish the exact circumstances and identify the person responsible. Yes, this incident is likely to generate fresh debate about security and political violence in Osun State. A governor traveling with a large convoy accompanied by a high-profile celebrity, and imagine the combination of two different convoy now. This thing became involved in a security incident that resulted in gunfire and the death of a civilian. As this time is particularly sensitive because the state has just concluded a highly contested governorship election. Political leaders are therefore expected to urge their supporters to remain calm and allow security agencies to conduct their investigations without interference. At this stage, the safety conclusion is that a serious shooting incident that occurred in Osogbo after Governor Davido and Adeleke visit to the Atoja Palace. But the initial description of this event as an attempted attack on the governor has also been complicated by subsequent police accounts, suggesting that Davido may have been the main target. Guys, the death of this 60-year-old Tajuddin Yusuf has also transformed the incident from a security scare into a fatal shooting cases. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to always stay updated by subscribing, liking, sharing, and ringing the notification bell.